And we're back.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
3 of you are going to a tavern whilst Elizabeth plays with a boat.
Yay!
Right.
So,
Well, before we head
Unless
off,
someone else
we
wants to
were,
come play
we
with the
were
boat.
still at the captain, and I wanted to mention one more thing.
okay.
About those birds you mentioned, you might want to get something to protect your ears. I guess I'll just buy a rag so we can, or something along those lines to for the crew. But yeah.
She looks at you like,
It will. Well, hopefully it won't come to it. But if it is what I think it is, their screeches will be less than pleasant, to put it lightly.
huh. Well, I've never experienced that before.
Well, let's hope we can keep it that way.
Yeah, that would be ideal if we did
Yeah.
not experience that.
Let's
I'll
blast
keep it
them
in
out of the
mind.
sky before they get to us.
Okay. And now you're splitting?
So, what was the split? Who was going for the crew and
Well,
who's doing something else?
I think the 3 of you are going through the crew, and Elizabeth is experimenting with the boat.
I mean,
Oh.
unless any of you really want me to go along to the crew, I would prefer to go stand by the ocean for a little while personally, but you know,
I just
Yeah,
need to go
I was
stare
gonna
at the
say.
ocean
I
moodily.
was gonna say, Kelariis loves herself a bit of ocean.
yeah, it may be cold, but it's still the ocean.
Yeah.
But if you guys like want me to come along,
You can go on a nice
yeah.
boat ride.
I mean, I can't imagine what would go wrong sending me and Grim.
No, I mean you guys went before
yeah.
and it turned out fine.
last time it actually went really well. So if anything,
Legend.
we should be sending you two again.
Look, legends were created.
Yeah,
Well,
you two
yeah,
got
we're
close.
creative.
You two became
Yeah.
closer friends, and you made
Yeah.
a lot of friends.
The tavern, the Borrower's Nook, is still... Yeah, it's the same place you went last time.
All the better reason for you two to go.
Do you reckon the same crew's gonna be there as well? They're just gonna go, "Hey!"
I hope not. Arya, I really hope not.
They're all just gonna yell. You're just gonna walk in, and they're all just gonna go, "Spoon!"
I'm gonna be like, please end this.
It'll be fine.
I will achieve world domination with a single spoon.
A single spoon.
So-
Anyway,
The wonders you can get from random tables.
yep.
So, Elizabeth, you walk with Kelariis down to the edge of the water, where they're away from the boats. Hold the box in your hands.
Cool. So I suppose I'm almost wondering. So it seems like it'd be different things because there's 3 different words. So I'm wondering if it means it's got 3 different effects.
Maybe. Do the words like mean or give you a hint at
Yeah.
what they might do?
Well, yeah, because what were the words again? There's
One is the
for-
end of a journey. One is to make a journey quickly, and the other is to make a journey with friends.
Yeah. I suppose the first one she'd try is at the end of a journey.
Well, that's probably to close it up again, isn't it? Once it's done whatever the
Well,
hell it's done.
well, I guess that. Well, yeah, I'm always wondering if it means it turns into different types of bow. I don't know. That's a good point.
Well,
I mean, if I say that word and it is to bring it back up, then nothing will happen.
right, and if it is different types of boats, with friends is probably a bigger one,
Yeah.
because they tend to also be slower than small boats.
Yeah.
well, to a degree.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In that case, we'll go with making a journey quickly.
Okay.
Go with that word first.
Uh,
Well, I'll probably put it. I'll put it down first.
okay, so you put it down.
I'm not gonna hold it in my hands. Unless I think I have to.
That seems like a bad idea.
No, you put it down on the ground, and you say the word for traveling quickly.
Yes.
So, as you finish it, the box springs open, and unfolding from within, almost like almost like origami or something like that, unfolding outwards from the box, a 10-foot long boat made of a golden coloured wood forms. It is 10 feet long, 4 feet wide, and about 2 feet deep. Attached to the sides are a pair of oars, an anchor, a mast, and a small sail. It looks like it could comfortably hold 4 medium creatures, maybe 5 at a push.
Okay, Elizabeth's just going to look at Class and say, is that or is that not the coolest thing?
I mean, I have to admit that is pretty cool. And
There's
extremely-
a number of nearby sailors who are just like doing stuff, just sort of like look over and are just like, what the hell?
What happens then if I say the word for the end of a journey?
Okay. The boat folds in on itself, back into a box.
Well, looks like you were right.
I know a thing or two about boats, maybe.
I know a thing or two about boats.
I'd like to,
Not a lot,
mean,
but I know some
to-
stuff.
to be fair, I would kind of hope you'd know about a bit about boats.
You know.
You know, if people were hoping you'd become a fisherman, I'd imagine they'd teach you a bit about boats.
To be fair, I think that they recognized pretty quickly that that wasn't what I was going to end up doing, but I did still help out, so
Yeah,
picked up.
which is still important. So then I guess I'll say the last word, the one for traveling with friends.
Okay. The same thing happens again, except this time it extends out much, much longer and much, much wider. 24 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 6 feet deep. It is a the thing that appears is a fairly large-sized boat. It has a deck, 5 sets of rowing seats with oars, a steering oar, an anchor, a small deck cabin, and a mast with a larger square sail. You could probably fit about 15 people in this boat. This thing is big.
Okay.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna look at Kelariis and just say, I think I know why it was 1,000 gold now.
Yeah,
10,000 gold.
Or 10,000,
Yeah,
10,000
10,000.
gold.
I mean, that, even just for the smaller boat, that's very convenient to be able to pick it up and go, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a ship.
That is a boat.
That is indeed a boat.
Just whatever you do, make sure I don't say that word while we're still stood on it.
I mean, I would have to say it in Elvish, though.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like I literally probably said, I'm just saying to Kelariis, like, just make sure I don't speak any Elvish while we're on the boat. That's probably better safe than sorry.
I'll do my best.
No Elvish on the boat.
Well, for
And
that
she probably
matter-
then looks at it and goes, wait a minute, this is my boat. No Elvish on my boat.
Well, okay, it's our boat, maybe. But let's maybe just... The word in general is maybe one that we'll avoid. Also, it's probably not something you'd say very often in Elvish on a boat.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
At least not in our situation.
Yeah, I'll say the word again and pick the box up. Close the boat.
so...
But yes, I very much do not have sailing experience.
I mean... I don't actually know. Did the rest of the group... The rest of the group had or had not been on boats before? The last
We've
time
all
we
been on
went
a boat.
Well, no, but like before
Yeah,
that.
but like before we got on.
Before that, no, I don't believe so.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Well, so
I mean-
first time for everything.
yeah. I mean, this was going to say, maybe our first time shouldn't be navigating a potentially dangerous, full of obstacles shoreline.
With that in mind, having looked at the map, Elizabeth, it is a fair assessment to say that the smaller boat will be able to navigate those, but the 24 feet long boat might have issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, she'll probably head to Tallithsyr to be like, I'm almost wondering if we should try have a little sail, just so we know what we're doing.
I mean, that's probably a good idea. Does the water looks probably as fine as it does? Like,
Yeah,
it
I mean,
doesn't
what
look
time is it
super
right
choppy
now?
or anything today.
It's getting towards evening, so the tide is coming in.
Okay. And yeah, as Jayla was asking, because I kind of talked over you there, I apologise. Is it like nice and smooth? No rough seas?
Make me a nature check, I guess.
Can I roll above a 10, please?
The
It's not bad.
the sea does not look too rough, at least a short distance from the shore.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't want to be taking a smaller boat too far from shore anyway.
Well, also not if it's the first time you're gonna be in a
Oh, God, yeah.
boat.
But honestly, if you're here, I suppose we should at least try.
I was gonna say, do we want everybody here for it? But yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's fair.
there's nothing stopping us having a quick sail while they're drinking and then just heading back. Like, we can just bring them with us another time.
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll turn it into the smaller boat.
Okay.
And-
So you jump in the boat. Kelariis helps push off from the thing, and yeah. I guess cut to small sailing montage as the rest of you walk into the tavern. I don't think do I have my tavern music still?
If not, it means you've got to break out Halfling Camp.
Oh god.
No, we're not breaking out Halfling Camp.
Damn it.
Been a while.
Hang on. I can fix this on the fly. I know where I'm going. Hold on.
Been a while, Crocodile.
Taverns of Azeroth. Here we go.
But this isn't Azeroth.
Okay. Yeah, you guys step into the Burrower's Nook. As you step inside, it is about as packed as it has ever been in here. People seem to have, now that the storm has died down, people seem to have been getting out to their regular duties, but there's still a lot of people who are still marooned in port, who are just sort of waiting around for things to kick off. And yeah, there's as always, the majority of the occupants of this bar seem to be halflings and dwarves for the primary majority, with a number of humans dotted around a couple of tables. A fairly ruddy-faced dwarf nudges his friends as he enters, points you guys out,
Oh no.
holds up a mug and just goes, "Hey!"
Arya just sighs.
Yep.
Just enthusiastically greet the mic and everything will be fine.
Griffiths just walks in, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave.
Smile and wave. I mean, let's be honest, Grim is Skipper.
So, it is fairly obvious the group of individuals that are Tolban's crew, as the majority of them are human, and they're fairly easy to spot over the heads of the crowd, as most of them seem to be sat just a short distance away down the bar. So what are you guys doing?
Well, shall we start by getting a drink?
I guess so.
Okay, you walk up to the barkeep. You order a couple of drinks, and yeah. What are you having?
Arya's just gonna get like an ale.
Okay.
Did I see what the crew are drinking?
Give me a quick perception check.
Honestly, it's probably best to avoid hard alcohol in this bar.
Especially after last time.
Whatever they're drinking is just in mugs, so presumably ale.
Definitely the strongest drink in it now. I'll just go with.
Okay, so 2 copper apiece for a decent mug of ale.
I'll just
Um,
pay for yes.
You make your way down the bar towards the group of humans. They notice as you approach and sort of like turn to interrupt their conversation as you step in.
So, what's it like to be a sailor?
That's your opening line.
That's the opening line.
That's the opening line.
For fuck's sake.
The burly-looking human who seems to be the leader of the group turns towards you and goes, "So that's an interesting opening line."
Yeah, you know what? You look like an interesting bunch, and you seem like you might have stories to tell. There might be some ale in it for you. Or like
Just sort of like turns towards you, like looks at you quizzically, assesses your companion, just sort of says, "Look, fella, I don't know what it is that you've heard, but we're not in for any funny business, if that's what you're saying."
No, what my companion here is trying to... We're actually looking for some sailors to help us get somewhere. Just ignore his terrible attempts at small talk.
You're looking for transportation.
Well, we have a boat. We just need a crew.
Sort of turns towards the rest of his colleagues and says, we just got off the back of a job that isn't paying too well, so might be interested.
I have to warn you, though, this job is not an easy one. I don't know how much you know about the Isle of... what's it called again?
Lathermann's Cay.
Yeah, that one. But we are going to sail there. We need a crew that will get us to the island.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's especially famous for being rumored to be infested with demons. Look,
Why did
Arya's
we say
just
Oh.
be real.
it's the Blackmount Isles.
Huh. Treasure hunters, I'm guessing.
Not
Of
exactly.
the sorts. Oh, I guess we're kind of hunting treasure.
Do you
right?
guys have a plan at all?
I love that. It was just the, so you're treasure hunters? Yeah, no.
More like monster hunters.
Monster
Oh,
hunters.
we're in this for different reasons.
Are we?
Well, you're certainly a curious bunch.
Please.
Well, unless you've got a boat, there's not a lot we can do for you. We just crew the thing.
We have a boat. We
I'm the
just need a
captain.
crew.
Who's your
And a
captain?
I think you might be familiar with them.
Possibly. Know a lot of captains
They,
around here.
they sailed the Phoenix.
Give me an insight check.
These people hate her, don't they?
Mm.
Hello?
Inside, there we go.
Cap?
Oh my god.
Everything just went completely quiet for a moment.
Okay.
Can I inside check that too?
You can insight check as well, yes. I'll give you that.
What did I miss?
Bar
We're
banter.
just talking to the sailors and doing a fabulous job of it.
Fantastic.
Well, you've not been doing a fabulous job so far, so I'm not convinced.
Okay.
Wow.
So Grim doesn't notice this, but Arya, there's in the group of people behind him, there's been sort of a look of they were interested when sort of you said you were potentially offering them a job, but they were quite interested. Then they were a little bit put off when you said the Blackmount Isles, and then when you said on the Phoenix, they're just sort of like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't as good as we thought. But
I
looking-
assure you, we will be paying. I realize that there has been some history potentially with that, but with us financing the trip, you won't have to be worried about payment.
Yeah, you'll get paid as soon as we depart. And stuff, just to make sure that like everybody shows up.
Dice rolls.
Yep.
He looks. He sort of thumbs the edge of his square jaw for a moment and sort of says, See, it's a good offer, but I need to know first of all that you're good for the gold, so to say. Secondly, I want to know what kind of insurance I'm getting for taking a crew out to the Blackmount Isles.
Oh. We were told that, we were told that there are, or at least the main problem that people seem to have is with rocks, giant birds, the poison dust, and can only be, washed down with holy water.
Hey, that's what Tolban says.
Well, we have a whole box of holy water that we're taking with us, so that won't be an issue. We also have a paladin that's traveling with us who can create holy water if that comes to it.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, Grim, you want to help me out?
Sure. Oh, look, I am all for.
Oh, jeez,
helping you.
please
Well,
help
you didn't
me.
roll. You can roll it
Sorry.
again because.
Yeah. Oh!
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
I can't believe. Nice.
I can't believe
Powers-
Grim helped me that much.
Grim and Arya combined.
Okay.
Through our powers combined, we become somewhat good at persuasion.
So yeah, he looks at you and so says,
How two wrongs made a right?
"A paladin."
Indeed. She's
Yes.
a dragonborn herself.
A
One of the,
dragonborn paladin.
Yeah, dragonborn.
Y'all are selling Kelariis real hard for stuff lately.
She's awesome, alright?
Ferrous is a badass.
She's a fucking dragonborn paladin with a magic
yeah.
fucking.
She's the person who, let's be honest. She's the party member who most people will easily be able to have confidence in.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you look at her and you're
'Cause,
like,
do you want to tell them instead about the gnome who's a warrior? I'm sure that people have their doubts. What about the mysterious elf from the Feywilds? Yeah, people are gonna have their doubts. How about the nerd who spent all her life indoors? Yeah, she's gonna inspire confidence.
Well, if you describe it like that, yes. If you describe it as the arcanist who's mastered several schools of magic, then it gets a little bit more. Anyway.
yeah, I'm definitely picking out the best points of Kelariis and
Yeah.
saying,
yeah,
here you
Kelariis
go.
is the easiest to hype up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to hype up a like 6 foot something dragonborn who's
He
also
sort
a
of-
paladin.
He drains his tankard and leans in and says, "So you've convinced me on the preparation part, but what are we talking in terms of payment? Because I know what I normally get paid, and I'm gonna want danger money on top of that."
What do you usually get paid?
we know. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say the captain told it. The captain told you.
Right, but I just want to get his version.
Okay, fair.
Rob trying to figure out if he wants to indulge.
Yeah, he's like, he sizes you up for a moment and then says, "Usual pay for what I do is about 2 gold a day."
well,
That's
not
2 gold
wrong.
more than what she said.
what is it about to? So
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
rounded, that's like...
Yeah, he's basically taken his daily pay and rounded it up to the nearest whole number.
Yeah, like that's pretty fair.
well, see, there's your like part of your hazard pay comes in the form of the fact that we carry diamonds with us. So if anything were to happen with you, we could simply, well, if you were to die, we could simply just top you right back up.
Wow, that's a
Wow.
bold statement.
That's the selling point!
That's the study about. Don't worry, if you do die, we can literally bring you back to life.
We've never lost anyone, like ever.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
This is a lie.
That's a bully. Well, technically, it's
No,
technically
have
not a lie, but
Well,
kind of lying.
one of
We
your
lost someone.
companions did die.
Yeah, we have lost someone, just not under our watch.
Yeah, like you can't help it if they go and be reckless.
It's just, yeah, let's not even go into that.
No.
We've taken people to other dimensions. We've taken them. Well, we've saved princesses, which sounds kind of yeah.
I mean, we also have
Generic,
the
but-
certificate thingies that we got for acts of service to the to the elves. So
I guess we can offer you a little bit extra.
yeah, as I said, payment is not going to be an issue. We'll make sure that you're paid for your services. Me flash around money like we have any. I mean, we do have some, but
I mean, are you like
Yeah, we
actually
haven't-
showing him the gold that you have?
I don't know if she'd go that far yet. She's just trying to act like
Yeah. Well,
confident.
so he's clearly listening to what you're saying and paying attention, but there's a look on his face that just sort of he's expecting you to like show him in some sense that you can pay him.
I mean, we can show him like some of the gold that we have. We have a significant amount in the bag of holding, right?
Well, we could only pay him like 100 times over, but
I mean, if you flash 100 gold coins, I think he's gonna be impressed.
I mean, yeah, if you pull like a fistful of coins out of the bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you pulled out 100 gold coins, that'd pay him and his mates plus a load extra.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
Grim's hands are big enough to hold 100 gold.
Just grab
No,
a
it's
hand.
fine.
Yeah,
I'll
just
just
pull it out
A
of the bag.
handful of gold,
Grim would find a way.
straight out the bag.
Okay.
Grim would find
Yeah,
a way
you
somewhere.
reach in and produce a handful of gold coins. It's
And I
a
just say,
a small
as
whistle from one of the guys in the back.
Classic.
as I said, you won't have to worry about payment.
Fair enough.
I love how the solution to raising their morale is apparently bribery.
Yeah,
just
they're
hired them
like
as if-
almost pirates. Of course it is.
Not pirates, they're sea traders.
Yeah, they're merchants.
They make money off traveling. It's
Yeah, they make money off running a ship that's owned by a merchant.
you would be surprised how much people are willing to risk for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like it's a little bit of money that you're earning.
No, yeah.
They're
pretty
fairly
well paid,
compensated.
especially compared to
Get-
ordinary farmhands.
Yeah, well, considering the deckhand jobs you got the last time you sailed, where you were paid 3 copper a day, these guys are professionals.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah.
MLG
Well,
Pro.
I should probably mention that on top of getting paid by us, there will be, well, we'll be expected that you continue to follow the usual route from the for the, what's it called again, the Phoenix, and well, and it should be profitable this time. But even if it isn't, we've paid you up front, so. But there might be extra if you do well.
What do you say, lads? Another round of the old firebrand? They sort of like, there's a brief murmuring between the group, and they say, "Yeah, all right then." Turns back and just says this. Sounds like you got a deal.
Excellent.
So if you're feeling flush with cash, then me and the boys were going to play some cards later tonight. If you wanted to play a few hands, lay down a few wagers.
As much as that sounds interesting, I'm afraid we have a long journey to get prepared for, so we'll probably have to pass on that.
Well, what we can do is perhaps cover some of your drinks, and just hand them a gold coin for now. This should cover like a round or two.
Mighty kind of you.
Well, we'll see you. Guess we'll see you tomorrow. We've got some prep to do.
Oh.
Although perhaps we could stay for one more drink. Looking at Arya.
6 hours later.
One
Yeah.
drink.
No, it'd be more like 1 hour later. Elizabeth and fucking Kelariis show up, and everyone's yelling spoons at the top of their lungs.
No.
Yeah, we.
Oh, Arya's
and
gonna watch
Grim's
us.
got one balanced on his nose. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
God, I kinda
If
wanna
they
see
do
that
stay
happen
for
now.
a drink, it will be one, and it will be ale.
Okay, so you have one more drink, so yeah, deduct another full copper, and yeah, eventually Elizabeth and Kelariis come back from their preliminary boat trip. Elizabeth probably a little bit wobbly in the legs.
Yeah. What are sea legs?
Yeah, and
What
you
are sea legs?
push open the doors of the Burrower's Nook, and yeah, your companions are fairly easy to spot.
Only a wee bit conspicuous.
Just a tiny
It's
bit.
it's generally the wide berth that they're given by all of the other patrons by the wolf that's curled around the bottom of the
Yeah.
bar stool.
Yeah.
It's not your everyday travel companion, for sure.
But
Also, she's a big wolf now, so...
Yeah, she's like Great
Like,
Dane
hard-
size.
Yeah.
No longer
Honestly, the
just a
last thing Elizabeth
juvenile
probably
wolf.
wants right now is alcohol.
Although it would help steady your nerves.
Yeah, it might help steady the nerves and make her feel more sick, though. It's not gonna do her stomach any favors.
No.
No.
So yeah, you are all reunited in the tavern. Is there anything you want to do while you're here?
Well, if everybody showed up,
Oh dear.
probably everybody should have some drinks, right?
I will have a drink, and I will pay for whatever Elizabeth also wants.
Yeah. I don't know about drinks.
Maybe
First
some
First time
water.
on a boat, no.
Well, look, you get to meet the crew that we're gonna be sailing with. There might be.
I can meet the crew without having a drink.
Yeah, maybe just some water.
I can meet people without being drunk.
Well, I didn't say it had to be alcohol, but it would be, you know.
I mean, yeah, can I have some water?
Okay, so you all buy some drinks, and yeah, for the sake of brevity, we'll say you do introductions with the rest of the crew.
Nice.
Nice.
So after you finish your drinks, are you presumably just heading to back to the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of said we had things to prepare, even
Yep.
though we. So.
Okay.
It'd be kind of weird if we didn't spend all night drinking next to them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that you made the promise about more holy water, but I'm going to remind you out of character that if that's the case, I need to get silver powder. Because
Yep.
we don't...
Oh.
We did say we did have a paladin with it.
Well, we just said what we always said was, well, just think of a way to impress them.
Well, no, you mentioned to them in there, like, obviously Kelariis doesn't know this, but you mentioned that, like, you have a paladin that can make more holy water, but if that's something that we even want for ourselves, for that matter, like, we need to get silver powder, because I need to, like, use that to be able to make it.
We can just have a bunch of silver coins and then put a lot of work in.
What, I'll
I'm
just
sorry,
fucking
how much-
smash it?
How much work do you think it is to turn metal into a powder?
It's well, because if you don't have the right tools, it's quite labor
Yeah, let's just
intensive.
macerate some fucking coins. I'm sure that'll go well.
Silver's surprisingly soft.
Still fucking metal.
Yeah, we're just not gonna do that.
I wouldn't recommend
It'll
it.
be fine. Grim macerates all the time.
Oh, Rob.
Wow!
Wow. I can't believe you've done
What?
this.
Anyway,
I can't believe you've done this.
Uh,
I don't want to think about that.
he's a master of macerating.
No. No, he's not.
Moving swiftly onwards.
He's very much not.
Oh. this is-
anyways.
Yeah. I agree
Fine.
that having maybe a couple handfuls of silver powder would be good, or
Okay, yeah. So you could buy as much, well, within reason, as much of that as you want.
Wait, 1,000 golds worth.
That would be unreasonable.
What do you mean?
I don't see what's unreasonable about that.
Well,
I guess
just
how much do we want to get?
I guess just for a single dose, because let's be honest, well, considering they need it.
Enough for 2 doses?
yeah, I'd say like 2 doses is probably
Well, let's
fine.
be honest. We're just gonna tell when the birds show up. We're just gonna tell them to hide under the deck. We're gonna be the ones that are taking the hits,
Yep.
and I feel like we can safely take one or two of the holy water.
I am curious if... I don't know, I guess would Grim have known, like, how the... Wait, it's like a poison!
It was highly
Yeah.
toxic, is what he said. What Puck said.
Mechanically speaking, does that make sense that it would fall under poison? Because if that's the case, then we're probably okay.
Yeah, 'cause Kelariis can.
Paladin
Like it just-
powers.
I could just tap somebody on the shoulder and be like, you're good, get out of there. But I don't know if we'd know that, so...
Well, there'll only be one way to find out. Described-
I mean,
It's been described to us like a weird poison, so
Well, and like you have to.
I said highly toxic. Deduce from that what you will.
Poisons are toxic, but
Like I mean, you have to watch. No, watch. You have to wash it off, so it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't. I think, yeah, I don't think it is actually a poison.
Okay.
well,
Because this is the thing. Like they said, it washes off.
we'll see how it works.
like- I don't think lay on hands like does a full body wash while you're at it. While it's at it.
Full
you know?
body wash. It's like when you're in a lab and they're like, okay, here's like the shower if you get like toxic waste.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
decontamination room.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I guess if you get 1 or 2 things worth of silver powder, that's probably okay.
okay. So 50 gold's worth of silver
Water.
powder.
Yeah, I feel like it's silver powder is something you can easily exchange anyway. So
Let me-
Yeah, it retains
Silver
its
powder.
value.
yeah, let me take that out of my money then.
Okay.
And
Cool.
add that.
So I'll say by the time you get at the tavern, it's probably too late to buy that. So you'll have to buy that next morning.
Okay, is
Uh,
that
no,
okay
that's
though?
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
we're gonna buy some cloth or something for makeshift earplugs anyway.
Okay.
Also,
So
I
you-
guess-
Do that. Surely actual earplugs are a thing.
Not really.
No.
honestly, the best thing I can. My first idea is kind of awful, and it's just wrap a blanket over your head with some rope.
Wow.
Yeah, that is awful. Because I don't think
Well-
that'd even work.
Oh, that would work.
Like the equivalent of wearing a hat.
It would. Yeah, it would be a hat, and it would easily be knocked off. But
Yeah, just put a hat on your head. There you go.
I will tell you from a mechanical standpoint, actually defending yourself physically from that kind of thing would be very, very difficult. Because yeah, you don't have like ear defenders or anything like that available.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get like
This ain't the future.
beeswax.
You could voluntarily deafen yourselves if you wanted to, but that will.
Let's not do that.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
It would only be temporary, but
yeah.
Let's just be aware it's a problem.
The problem is, even if we're aware, and we don't have any options to stop it, then
I mean, I think we should.
put it this way: take it as a cue to prepare spells like silence if you have them.
Mm.
Does anyone have silence?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Unless Elizabeth
Wizard?
has.
I'm looking.
Flick, 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 flick.
Yeah.
So many spells.
Spell book.
Just... Nope.
Well,
I thought I did.
So what about that beeswax, y'all?
you know what? I guess we might as well.
I've got an
try.
idea. Why don't we just kill them before they get close enough?
I mean, one of us can do. Well, 2 of us can do that effectively. So,
You have crossbows.
yeah, I guess.
So, next day comes around. Are you doing any more shopping?
I guess just for the silver powder.
Okay, so silver powder is bought. You while away some hours of the day around the Phoenix.
Well, I feel like while they're preparing, let's get everyone on the mini boat.
Okay, so you're gonna have a small
Yeah.
pot around. Okay,
Let's
so
all get used to the new boat.
yeah, you spend some time practicing with the boat. It's fairly reasonably easy to control. But again, as none of you are actually proficient in it, you will not be gaining proficiency in any checks you make while trying to handle the boat.
Nope.
But yeah, you grasp the basics of it. You are now able to sail it at least reasonably.
Yay.
As you come back, pack up the boat. Captain Tolban is waiting, and basically says, "So, if you're coming aboard, now's the time. I'm getting everybody ready. Whatever you said to them last night seems to have them riled up, ready to take this thing on. So
Literally all I did was flash gold.
let's get out
Yep.
ahead of that." You'd be surprised what some of them are willing to go to. Some of the limits people are willing to go to for gold around here. Lots of people looking to retire, get out early before the war comes.
Yeah. Oh, we
Yeah,
just
that's understandable.
we're more concerned about them the potential pickup, which reminds me, we should probably inform you as to how we would inform you.
Yes, that's a very good point. If you would permit me to, I would be able to send you a message directly, even while we're still on the island, via magic.
Sure, that sounds reasonable.
You might want to give an example or demonstration.
I mean, is that really necessary? I mean, you just hear my voice in your head. You can respond, "Yay!"
Oh, I guess it would
Magic.
It sounds fairly easy to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated magic. Well, to cast maybe, but she doesn't have to worry about that.
So I just hear your voice and then I can say something back?
Yes, there's a limit of 25 words, but that probably won't be an issue.
Okay.
Just mention the next estimated time that you'll pass by the island.
Okay. Well. Let's go.
Well,
Yes.
before we completely head off, because I guess the crew is already on board, right?
Pretty much.
We did promise them to, well, pay them as we got onto the ship.
Pay them up front.
So, or at least as we left. So I'll just go prepare that. But well, I guess we can leave already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're setting up ready to leave. How much are you paying them up front?
I guess we did say we'd just pay them I guess we'll just pay them what their regular journey's fee, because that's kind of what we told them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just going to pay their wages for the journey?
Yeah, so
Okay.
60 gold.
Okay. You hand that over. They are more than satisfied with that.
There you go.
And, yeah. So, you jump on the Phoenix and begin your passage up the Scale Coast towards the Curran Coast, and travelling towards the Blackmount Isles. Oops,
Yeah, that's a point.
it's a bit loud.
Which one is Lathermann's Cay of these Black Man Isles?
It is that one,
Yeah,
the larger of the isles.
that's right.
Oh yeah, we should also hand over the copy of.
Yeah, the captain's
Yeah,
copy of the map.
Yep. Yep, you hand it over to Captain Tolban. Tolban studies it for a while and says, okay, this should be easy enough to do.
Well, we made sure to make an extra copy because, well, you might want to keep it on you.
I think the biggest trick is going to be staying away from these reefs on the edge.
We'll leave point of entry to you.
Yeah.
We don't, because the island is so small. We don't really care where we start, as long as we get there.
Whatever's easiest for you.
Okay.
Also, with the boat that we acquired, you probably don't have to get too close because it's like a surprisingly big boat.
It's not a rowboat. Let me put it that way.
Well, it can be.
Well, yeah.
Just a very
Well, yeah, it
big
can be rowed. It's
Yeah.
just not exclusively a rowboat, is what I mean.
Yeah, it's not like a
It's got
small
a sail.
fishing boat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a sail.
Yeah. She nods and so says that'll make things easier to avoid any attention from the Isles.
Well, and I guess even though they were quite a while off, if there is trouble, we don't mind stepping in, and especially if the birds show up, then feel free to retreat beneath the deck or camp your quarters or wherever suitable.
I'll make sure the crew knows to take cover if anything kicks off. It might be a little more difficult for me to get below decks because, well, somebody's got to steer up here, but...
Yes. Oh. At least, we'll figure that out.
I mean-
It shouldn't be too big of a problem, but just in
Yeah.
case, at least we have at least you're aware.
Understood. Okay. So, you spend the day or so of travelling towards the Blackmount Isles, generally drawing up plans, studying the maps, etc., and anything else that you want to do to get prepared. But as the second day is drawing to a close and the sun is beginning to drift down towards the western edge of the horizon, setting just beyond a bunch of or the group of islands that you can see in the distance, you pull in towards the Blackmount Isles. There's significantly more in the painting than there actually is in the game, but so yeah, as you pull in to the towards the larger of the Blackmount Isles, the Lathermann's Cay, you do notice that from the mountains in the center, basically the land slopes up towards this rocky outcropping in the center, which leads up to a series of massive peaks around the outside, and drifting just above the surface of these mountains is almost like a greyish cloud that the wind occasionally whips up and it's like pulled into a stream that drifts out across the ocean, leaving like a not quite as thick as in the image, but a greyish trail that splays out across the ocean, and silhouetted as the sun is setting against the island, you can see that there are a number of creatures that sort of like sweep and wheel around the mountains in the center. The captain turns and gestures to all of you and points up at the island and says, "That's your destination, but I can either bring her in a little closer, and we're going to start drawing attention, or you can try and make your own way and get in there undetected."
It's probably best if we just go our own way.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to draw too much attention to you and your crew.
Yeah.
So a little advice on well, our route there might, like estimate how best to approach might be nice, considering most of us, well, we are not really too experienced in reading maps, but
She nods and says, "In that case, I'll bring us in a small way and we'll drop anchor, and I'll do my best to point out where exactly it is that you're going.
That would be appreciated. At least, well, one less Kelariis, unless you think we can do this.
I think it's better to be on the safe side if we can
Yeah.
be.
Okay. I will give the boat a roll for stealth. Okay, that's good enough. So the boat pulls up a short distance, drops anchor. The captain comes down from the top deck as you're sort of getting the boat out from the bag of holding, and says, "So if you angle yourselves towards that beach, you should be safe almost all the way. Be careful as you approach the shore, however, because that's when you're going to start hitting the smaller sets of rocks, and the last thing you want to do is scupper yourselves in the shallow water and leave yourselves with no way to come back." Well,
Sure. Well, I guess that would work. And then, as a small side note,
Yeah.
we will, when we're returning, or when we're being picked up, we will try and head to about this location.
okay.
'Cause I feel like that would be the easiest way to find each other.
Yes, well, I will point out the boat we've acquired has a rather interesting wood color.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have all seen it, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's like weirdly golden. So, like, she's like saying this to the captain. She's like, so it should be easily identifiable. You'll probably get what I mean when, well, we sail off.
I mean, it should be fairly easy to find you. You should really be the only ship in the water.
Yeah, also that.
True. Well, thanks for the trip. And, hopefully this time you're a little bit more profitable.
Well, this time I think I've found the right buyer for what I'm shipping. But she reaches into the crate that's got the holy water and she says, "You'd best take at least some of these with you." She passes you 4 of the vials of holy water.
That's very
Well,
kind of you.
It never hurts.
Yeah.
Well, I figured they
And-
don't seem to be paying attention to us right now, so if I keep enough for the return journey, then we'll do the best we can.
Excellent.
And I wish you the best of luck in future endeavors.
Well, if I ever see you again, I will be impressed. No one has ever come off that island the same way as they went in.
Well,
Well,
done some pretty crazy stuff in our past.
And there's
Yeah.
a first time for everything.
So we have an emergency extraction plan that, however, it is one that we prefer to avoid.
Well, good luck, Monster
basically,
Hunters.
if we don't need a pickup, that's when things have gone really wrong.
However, we will, but yeah, well, we'll make sure to inform you if we, because if we're not returning, then you might as well sell the holy water, I guess. But we'll be sure to message you.
Well, safe travels.
You as well.
And to you.
So you drop the box into the water and say the command word.
I was gonna say, yeah, does the box float?
As you discovered when you took it out for your sail, when you got rid of the boat in the shallows, it drops into the shallows and floats. The box itself is very, very light for what comes out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, otherwise it'd be really
Be a
awkward.
pretty
to use.
useless boat.
Yeah, Pretty awkward to use the second you were like not on shore.
So you chuck it out away from the boat and speak the command word, and you are presented with a small boat.
Nice.
Lower yourselves down on rope. And yeah, sail towards Lathermann's Cay.
And I will keep the map open so that we can keep using it as reference. Speaking of which,
Yes.
Map.
So actually, I will grab the party marker from the world map. And...
another good map.
Also, I guess for the holy water, should we just keep like one each on us?
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
That
Sounds
would
about
be
right, huh?
Treat me like
that
health
would be
potion.
So you guys are currently out here,
Aww.
and will be heading in this way. So, I guess I would like whoever is helming this to... What is the most appropriate check for this? You know what? Whoever is helming this, tell me how you're doing it. And we will devise a role for that.
Which one of us wants to lead?
Well, it depends. If I would say like it's probably like
Well-
on this Kelariis.
Well, whoever it is, like, could it be considered me helping if I'm there, like, holding the map out and, like, so that they can easily see and trying to help navigate that way?
Yeah, I will say you can help with navigation.
Nice.
Well, like unless Kelariis thinks she is experienced, I guess Grim would just go for it.
How so?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, okay, well, because we're just on a small sailboat, right?
Yes.
So, how hard can it be? Just
Oh
get
god.
this.
That's what we say
No,
before it
no.
all goes to shit.
No, I don't want Grim sailing this anymore. He's just said how hard could it be? Get Kelariis.
What way is the wind blowing? Is it kind of going in the right direction, or?
With the right kind of navigation, you could catch it and sail it in.
Yeah, but I was more like if it like that would require skill if it's from
Yeah.
some directions. Like, is it? Do we have wind in our backs, or like? Is it like
The wind will not blow you directly to your destination, avoiding the rocks, if that's what you're asking.
no, but well,
Well,
it's
no,
more
what we're
that
asking is just give us a fucking compass direction.
yeah.
think.
Well, I was trying to figure out if it's like from because if it's
Is
from
there a
the
northerly
east,
wind or a northeasterly
anywhere
wind?
from
It
the
is a
east,
northerly
so-
wind.
There you
a
go.
northerly wind. So
Wind
that's
is
gonna-
blowing like that.
That's pretty good.
There's your wind.
Northerly wind. Well, considering that means that we're gonna have to go against the wind.
Well, I don't know. It depends where we want to land. If we want to land exactly like right there, then we're somewhat fighting it. But we could potentially ride more with it and just land slightly further up the coast.
The thing is that the way the captain pointed out to you was the route that took you directly into that little sheltered bay.
In there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we
Never
should
mind then.
for that if possible.
Yeah. Well, well, I guess if the I guess we could kind of make it work. As long as the wind isn't 100% sideways, it still kind of pushes us forward slowly.
It's going to require skill, either way.
Well, show me the map, and we'll try and get to that hole.
Okay.
If we get anywhere near anything that we think is problematic, are there any oars on the boat?
There are oars,
there
yes.
Yeah. Oh, so I guess that means I'm helping navigate, Grim's steering, and then I guess that leaves Kelariis and Arya emergency oars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We got the oars covered. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look, if there's oars, we just use the wind to sail as close as we can, drop the sails, and once we get to the reef territory, we start rowing.
Okay.
Yeah, that would
Like-
work.
So
Like
in
how-
that case, whoever is helming this, give me. If you're going for oars, give me an athletics check with the advantage help from Elizabeth doing navigating.
Sure. I accidentally closed my character sheet. And advantage athletics.
Okay.
Hey, advantage.
Nice.
So I guess. Okay. So you row this thing towards the coast, narrowly avoiding some particularly treacherous areas of reef, some that come close to almost scraping the bottom of the boat in places. But you make it into the harbour, and the wheeling creatures that are circling the mountains, in the slowly dipping sun, it doesn't seem like any of them have broken off and are coming towards you.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So is this like quite flat ground then?
Yeah, you're basically pulling up onto a beach, and maybe like an hour, 2 hours walk away is in the distance. You can just see what looks like a number of tumble down stone buildings on the edge of a forest.
Oh, that is perfect. Probably be a decent place to spend the night as well. A bit more
Well-
sheltered than out on an open beach.
We definitely want to check it out first, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have a look around because it's quite late already, so we'd have a brief, make sure it's safe and then camp the night.
Wait, didn't you we double checked you had a spell, right, to keep us safe during the night?
Yeah. We've got Learman's tiny hut.
So we head into one of these buildings and we just
Yeah,
put a hut
Hut
over
up,
it. to
yeah.
activate it.
exactly.
Feels a little bit double or over the top, but
Inception.
it will do.
A hut within a house.
It's fine.
Okay, so as you begin to walk inland towards the forest, towards the buildings, I guess everyone give me a perception check.
Wow, really not great.
Oh!
Oh, fuck.
Nearly a nat 20.
it's not bad.
Okay,
Eyes of a hawk.
so as you're walking, the shadows cast by the mountains and the setting sun are throwing like long patches of darkness out across portions of these. What looks like, as you approach it, a small town was once existed here at the base of the mountain, and right up against the mountain is a large stone building that still looks to be, for the most part, remained intact. Elizabeth, as you're approaching, it's difficult to tell at this distance, particularly in the shadows, but it almost looks like every now and again there's figures moving around in the town. They don't move a lot. They appear to be humanoid, primarily, at least from this distance.
Okay.
But the light is beginning to become difficult to see in.
Yeah. Well, imagine what happened is Elizabeth sees the town initially, gets very, very excited because holy shit, first age ruins.
Yes.
And then her face probably suddenly drops and she just goes, oh, there's... I'm pretty certain I've just seen movement down there.
What do you mean?
Humanoid figures, I can't make out exactly, but there's definitely someone moving in the town.
You say this? Did this seem like a human?
Humanoid? I can't tell exactly. I'm still a bit far.
They all look like ants from up here. Or from this distance, at least. But they don't seem large. They seem to scale with the buildings.
Yeah.
Do we want to go in then?
I feel like we should wait till morning.
Yeah, if there's something already there.
Also, I thought this island. Well, I guess
I would still like to be somewhat sheltered for a rest, though. I don't necessarily want to be out in the open.
What was that?
No.
What? Your spell
Longer-
takes care of?
It creates an impenetrable dome for 8 hours.
Yeah. It creates an impenetrable boat. It doesn't necessarily make us invisible.
It definitely doesn't make you invisible because it
Yeah.
emits a small amount of light and is coloured.
Yeah. 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 It's coloured and it emits light and it's completely opaque, so it would probably stand out quite a little bit.
What about towards the trees then, instead of into the town?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
Okay, so you
Find a little bit of
start
tree
heading
cover.
towards the trees instead.
Yes.
How many hours of daylight will we still have?
By the time you get to the trees, probably no more than an hour. It's beginning to set quite quickly.
Yeah, okay. Never mind then. Yeah, then that's definitely the best option.
Yeah.
So you begin to head towards the trees.
Aye.
I need to roll 1d100. Okay.
Please don't be alive.
We all wake up dead.
The ent kicks you in the face.
No.
Well, maybe it's a dirt monster.
Maybe it's a shambling mound.
So, as you get close to this tree line, you start to notice that the further away from the shoreline you get, it begins to get more and more humid as you walk inland. To the point where the forest is quite thick and overgrown, but the first thing that you begin to notice is that underfoot, you start noticing that there are like a number of like small mushrooms that pop up from areas near the bases of the trees, and then occasionally the small fungi like growing up the sides of the trees. And as you make it into the tree cover, into where like obviously the shade of the trees begins to like block out some of the sunlight, there's even more of these colonies of mushrooms that begin to pop up of all sorts of different varieties. And yeah, you. What are your passive perceptions again, Elizabeth and Arya?
I think mine's 17.
15.
Yeah, 17.
15 and 17.
Okay. So, Elizabeth, you would be the person who spots this. You get maybe no more than a few minutes into the tree line. Near one of the colonies of mushrooms, you see like a dark patch on the ground that at first you thought was a shadow.
Oh no.
And then you realize it's maybe a person lying face down on the ground.
Great.
Fantastic.
Get ready for those fucking zombies, boys.
I mean, I guess I'd stop everyone and point them out.
Arya's gonna unsheath her sword and like
Okay.
poke it.
I'm gonna like hold a hand bleh. Just try that sentence again. Hold a hand real quick, like to stop Arya, and
Oh, okay.
I wanna sense some shit with my paladin senses.
Oh. Good
Okay.
call.
That seems almost too smart.
You
That does seem
Yeah,
almost
that's,
too
that's
smart.
uncharacteristically smart for our party.
No,
Meanwhile,
well,
I'm
no,
just gonna
because
poke
we-
it with a fucking sword.
Yeah.
We know we're on an island with some shit. It's literally the Demon Isles.
Yep.
Or the Chow even. So
Yep.
like, that's
No,
not
you're
the
right. You're
So
right.
you
It's
you
just
extend
too smart for us.
you extend your paladin senses within 30 feet of you, and detect nothing.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'd like to light my dagger. By which I mean cast light on my
You cast
dagger.
light on the dagger. Okay. Yep.
So
Then the wizard said, "Let there be light." Can I
guess-
like, is it close enough? I guess that the light would help us see it better.
I mean, it is now visible that there is a dark shape lying in the grass. Arya, what were you saying?
I guess since Kelariis informed us that there's nothing wrong with it, I'm gonna try to like turn it over with my sword to get
Okay.
a better look at what it is.
You put your flat of the blade underneath the figure and turn it over. It's quite heavy, but it does appear to be a human corpse.
Joy.
Perhaps most importantly, it appears to be wearing a greyish robe. But when you turn it over, the robe underneath the overcoat thing that it's wearing is it appears to be wearing like a I guess it's probably more like a red shirt, and on the front of the grey robe is the sigil of an eye with a green center.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've seen that before, haven't we?
Yes,
Oh.
this humanoid is dead. Not immediately obvious the cause of death, but the corpse appears to have bled profusely from the nose and eyes before death.
Lovely.
Oh,
Well, my first thought is it's something to do with the rather large amount of mushrooms.
yes. Although, to be sure, this would be we should probably like
I mean-
decapitate it or something. The body.
I mean, a thought is, do I know anything about these mushrooms in particular, like any of these species of mushroom?
Okay. So you hold your lit dagger up to the nearest colony of mushrooms, and you stifle a shriek
Oh god.
Oh.
Oh
Oh.
god!
as
Ah.
the nearest colony of mushrooms appears to have a face.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
horrible.
boy.
She also
Makes-
appears to have. Oh god!
That makes sense.
I was not expecting that.
Mushrooms do like dead stuff. Although,
Yeah. Hmm.
although considering the title, is she actually dead?
As you look closer, she does appear to still be breathing.
Oh, fuck me.
Well,
Time to put her out of her misery, boys.
That's your first thought.
God.
She's covered in mushroom. Look at her calf.
I mean,
And she's not triggered any of my weird, because she was close enough as well.
Yeah.
I think.
She has not triggered your.
yeah. Do I know
Undead
anything
sense.
about these mushrooms?
I guess give me a nature check. Okay.
God damn it. Again, can I
you-
roll more than a 10?
You've heard of the existence of parasitic mushrooms, but you have never seen anything that would do this.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't like this.
As an interesting note, she's not reacting to the light cast from the dagger at all.
Check. Should probably check the other mushrooms real quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are all the
yeah.
mushrooms around here?
Give me investigation checks.
Just whoever wants to look at the mushrooms.
Anybody, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay. Um,
Kelariis,
Me and Chloe got
please.
the same roll.
Fuck off.
so, casting a hasty look around at the other groups of mushrooms that are growing, none of them particularly appear to be manifested on any human shapes. But Arya, you do notice that a short distance from where this guy is lying, there are a number of bones and a skull that have sort of been sunken into the ground and have small colonies of things growing on them.
Great.
I am suddenly very glad I learned that spell before we came here.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure there's no mushrooms inside it.
As you are having this conversation, the woman's head turns around and tracks where you guys are talking.
Absolutely. Nope.
Nope,
Nope.
no. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
That's a big no.
Her lips appear to be moving.
No.
Can I make out what she's saying?
Yeah, I'd say with your previous role, she's stumbling over her words, but the general thing that she seems to be trying to get out, but no vocalizations are coming, is just something about monsters and don't breathe.
Out of character, I am very worried. In character, I'm also worried, but out of character, I'm very worried.
Yeah, I mean, back in character, Elizabeth's probably gonna go, you know what, actually, thinking about it, I was something much more in favour of just going into the town.
I don't like the. This forest seems like a bad place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like the town now.
If we just go be on the coastline, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, then we can see things coming.
Besides, it's like in the bubble we'll be safe, and odds are
Mm,
they're gonna find us
Yeah.
regardless with this bubble.
yeah. Yeah, let's just... Yeah, suddenly, yeah, you're right, the open plains really doesn't sound that bad. Let's get out of here.
As we're walking away, can I get out my bow and shoot?
Yep.
Put her out of her
Oh,
misery.
If you're gonna shoot, I will say make sure to keep your distance, because I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, that's why I'm getting my bow out and doing it as opposed to my
Yeah,
sword.
but because I'm pretty sure like they shoot spores and stuff into the air. It's mushrooms.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why.
Well, yeah. Well,
We're
it'll
gonna
be
get
like
some-
get several, get several tens of feet away and then.
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
And then shoot her. And I'm gonna like try to aim like for her eye. So
Ooh.
it's quick.
Sure. Make me an attack roll, just for.
That's really shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So, it definitely like it
Well,
impacts,
In
but
theory,
it's.
though. Sorry.
Sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, it's alright. I was just gonna say nothing of interest.
Okay, so you aim the arrow, and it's hitting the eye at range is kind of difficult. So it like sinks into the upper torso, and you watch her like sort of like convulse a little, and like parts of the mushroom that are like growing on her body just sort of like snap and just like fall off. She doesn't seem to move anymore.
Well, not the clean kill I wanted, but at least she's out of her misery.
Yeah. Let's just. Yeah. Let's just find the most out of the way place we can on the open field.
Okay, so you move back out to the field. At this point, the sun is disappeared behind the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will cast Leomund's tiny hut.
Okay.
Making sure it's like just grass in with us.
Okay.
Just grass.
Make me. I guess somebody make me a survival check if you want to do that.
I guess I will.
Yeah, alright.
Okay. You check the ground over, make sure there's no like damp patches or concealed areas, and Elizabeth casts Leomund's tiny hut.
Cool.
And yeah, you are sat inside a dome.
Because the handy thing is, we can still see out of it.
Yes, it is opaque from the outside, transparent from the inside.
So yeah. I can still see the danger. With it.
But yeah, it will expire in 8 hours, so
Yeah.
you just about finish your long rest by the time
Yeah.
by the time it dissipates.
That's why it's handy.
So, are you resting?
As much as we can
Yeah.
Yeah.
in this cursed place.
Long rest.
Okay. So, I guess Arya, give me an extended perception check as you keep your watch.
Wow.
Damn.
Well,
That sucks.
That really does suck.
So, you sit down to meditate, and at first your thoughts of meditation are somewhat disrupted by the horrifying experience that you've just had. But eventually you sort of get into the rhythm of it. Complete your meditation, sit up, sort of keep an eye out. On the flat plains there isn't seemingly very much to move. So much to observe that is moving. But as you observe, as the sun begins to creep up into the sky, probably just as the dome is disappearing, the rest of your comrades are still asleep. In the distance towards the edge of the forest, you see something move. Something fairly large. At a distance it looks almost like a sand dune, maybe?
The
Something.
Malduga. Wrong franchise.
Something that it seems to like shuffle along in a weird, like almost like a as if it's moving on many legs. That disappears into the trees in the same part that you came from, and disappears.
Great. Don't know what that was. Don't want to.
Okay. Slowly, the rest of your companions come to. What's your plan?
Well, I suppose we can have a proper look around the town. And
That would be a
then-
good start. We should probably see if he'd still see all the things moving.
Yeah, take a moment to observe and then head closer.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Oh, sorry, perception check. Elizabeth.
Nice.
Okay. Peering into the town now that the sun is coming up behind you and is shedding much more light into the actual town itself. There are still a few traces of movement just shuffling around, but the majority of them seem to have gone.
Okay. And then yeah, I'll probably just say there's still some people there, but not as much.
Let's hope that there's something to them, and it isn't evil.
I'd be excited if we hadn't witnessed what we just witnessed last night, but here we are.
Okay.
Let's
We should
find out what
approach-
Lathermann's K has in store for us.
should probably approach with caution.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
you've got your weapons at hand.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself now.
Okay, so you cast Mage Armor. And yeah, I guess you make your way slowly, cautiously towards the town. And I think that's where we'll end it for tonight. So remember that you have Mage Armor up for next session.
Yep.
And yeah. Thoughts?
Bad shit.
Uh, I was ready to be so excited, but like creepy mushrooms.
Yeah, fuck creepy mushrooms.
As creepy as all of that is, I'm still very excited about this, but also
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah.
nervous about it. So, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I thought I was going to be just excited, but no, I'm also creeped out.
Well, let's be honest. That was always going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when is there a better time than
look.
an island where no one ever returns from, filled with this bad stuff?
Yeah, but look, okay, I can still be optimistic.
True.
Like
Well,
I don't
let's
know,
be
maybe
optimistic,
no one
but-
comes back because it's a utopia.
Yeah,
Right.
sure that- I believe in that reason.
Well, just like the
It's like
people we're
that.
about
It's like that hotel from Percy Jackson. You walk in and it's an absolute paradise, and time progresses differently. So you spend like an hour on the like here, and it's been like 2 weeks.
The Hotel California.
No,
Wow.
Yep.
I hear there's
not
plenty
what
of room.
that's not what it was called. God damn it!
Oh.
Such a lovely place.
Such a lovely.
I mean, hey, you don't know. Like, maybe you'll get into town and everyone here will be a fun guy.
Yeah.
Well,
They're just just having a little block party. It's fine.
Wow. That was
Is
stealthy.
everyone just, yeah, I was gonna say, are people just glossing over that excellent pun there?
What was the pun?
Fun
And everyone in town will be a pretty fun guy. Fun guy.
Oh.
Like mushroom.
I was like, what?
Yeah. The classic
Honestly-
mushroom pun.
Honestly, that would be kind of horrifying for there to be that many, like, moving around mushroomy people.
Yep.
Oh god, guys.
Well,
That's the Hotel California.
the problem is, like, I don't know what is worse, if they're human or if they're not human. Because if they're human and nobody's ever returned, what did they do to them? But if they're not human, what are they?
Right.
Or at
That's
least,
the
like I say,
question.
human, at least humanoid.
Wow.
Well, it looks like they might even be cultists, given the first dead guy.
Find out next time on Second Age.
Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah, I guess. Thank you all for watching, thank you all for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye. I'm sure nothing bad will happen on this cursed island. Oh my god.
Surely not.